Thank you. All right, boys, let's get into it. Tyler Johnston, Evan Stone, Stuart and Rold from Letterkenny. They're here. I'm so honored to have you both here. Really, this is just a true honor. This is like my favorite show of the past 3-4 years. It's amazing. I think I'm on my like A3 watch at this point.
We are delighted to hear it. Anyone who rewatches the show is an ace in my books. That's good. Thank you.
Beautiful. So I got to say, these things are kind of they're weird, right? Because they're a little awkward, and you're with a bunch of people, and you're answering the same questions over and over again, and kind of go, what's the most that you guys get during these things that you're just tired of answering?
I think it's to summarize where we are in the seasons, just because it's so hard to know. Right, Tyler? Would you think it's probably that?
Mike, can you say that again? It kind of got a little I got lost in translation there. I couldn't hear what you said, actually.
Oh, okay, no problem. Can you hear me now? You good?
I can, yeah.
Okay. What's the most asked question that you get during these things that you're just tired of answering?
Oh my gosh. To be honest with you, Mike, I'm happy to be here answering questions for you. I realize how special of a moment in time this is for Letterkenny. So you could ask me questions all day, and people ask if I hate when people go Stuart or Rolled, and I'm not tired of it yet. Talk to me in 5-10 years, and hopefully I will have the same answer. But you can ask me anything you want, Mike.
Beautiful. I love it. Okay, good. Because I wanted to cross them off. If it was something that you just hate hearing, I want to make sure it's.
I think that's the question we hate hearing, the one you already asked.
There you go.
Yeah, that's that one stupid question.
Beautiful. Okay. Well, are you guys? Here's the other thing too. How you guys been doing with the pandemic? Are you guys ready to just get out of your house as I am, or what?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Been doing okay. We moved, got a new apartment here that's just a little bigger for living at home purposes, which has been nice. But I'm looking forward to seeing my friends and my family and playing ice hockey and doing all those things again. So the answer is yes. But we're making do, man. We're making do.
Beautiful. Evan, same.
I mean, yeah, except for I feel like I've been out a lot. I got a Jeep and I started just driving into the wilderness of Ontario. Good call. There's nice. so much out here to see and so few people. And so it's like you really can just end up in a field of nothingness. As long as you can find your way back to civilization at some point, you're good.
Is there breadcrumbs on your way out?
Yeah. No, it's very Into the Wild. I'm worried I'll eat a mushroom and die, but it hasn't happened yet. So we're good.
All right, let's get into the show here a little bit. Letterkenny, the evolution of both your characters over these 9 seasons has been really fun to watch. It really is. Evan's character, especially behind the scenes, how does a character like Rold go from maybe a line here or there to a true full-time ensemble player that's in almost every episode? Is it collaborative with great creative?
Yeah.
Or is it?
I attribute it all to Kiso and Tierney for being seeing things. Well, to people who see things that they like and they go, I want more of that. Kiso's really good at letting you know. The first time I said "Sturt" on the show, he was like, I liked that. Can you say it like that again? And so he's really good at identifying those things. And he obviously saw the chemistry between Ty and I, and Ty is masterful at what he does. So it's very easy to act in as his sidekick. And as Tyler's character goes through all these changes,
my partner
has to,
not my sidekick.
Yeah, and partner. And life partner.
Partner, that's not what I said.
Life partner, lover, whatever. It's very easy to have the character change organically throughout the seasons because of that.
And something I'll give Evan credit here because we're on camera. But he's always someone who brings things to the set. So the first couple of seasons, we weren't really sure who the skids were. And Evan brought lots of energy. He brought lots of dancing. He was actually choreographing our dance in season 2. So he brought a lot to the show before Rold became a fan favorite.
Stop being nice to me just because this is being recorded. Stop it. I know where this is going to go afterwards.
Yes, you do.
Well, you guys have an amazing chemistry. I can tell on and off the screen, and it definitely shows up on camera, and it definitely also shows in, like I said, the growth of these characters. Stuart has become an incredibly nuanced character, I think, over the course of 9 seasons. I mean, between the beginning is an affinity for Katie and being a DJ, going through rehab, having a hidden appreciation for talking hockey players with Wayne. I mean, all these things.
Yeah.
Tyler, how fun is it how fun has it been to explore this character and branch him out? And what are some of your favorite parts of Stewart's personality to explore?
It's been so much fun, Mike. The first few seasons there, we're wearing hoodies and heavy metal band T-shirts and chained wallets, and we're dancing like maniacs, and we were having lots of fun with that. But when they decided to take the Skids a little bit of a different route, and they put us in those overalls and the tank top tees, they kind of made us like a blank slate, and we could kind of go anywhere with these characters. So it's been nice to be able to, like you mentioned, go through the rehab, go through that very brief love fling with Katie at the beginning of the season or the series. And then of course doing the DJing thing and the weightlifting thing, and who knows where they're going to take us Skids after this. But it's certainly been a lot of fun to grow with these characters. One thing that we really try to do, which I don't think we're subtle about anymore, is bringing a lot of emotion to these characters. And one of the favorite things that I've been able to do with Stewart, obviously he's loyal, even though he has a weird way of showing it to his friendships. But I really like the relationship with Gay. It was something for Stewart to kind of like really gravitate towards. And when he had his little heart broken, it was quite devastating. So that was a fun character arc for Stewart.
That's awesome. I mean, you guys, you've talked about it too before. You talked about it too before about the improv on this show, and I think I personally enjoy the amazing physical comedy that you guys are both able to perform. You mentioned it before about the dancing. Evan, you're doing a lot of the choreography, but like also the fighting, the force fighting that you guys do.
We got to stretch. We have to, before every single take, Tyler and I are stretching in between shots. We're
not 27 anymore.
Up. No, we're not. There's a lot of physicality, and we have like a really great stunt choreographer, Dan Skeen, who just crushes it day in, day out and gives us things to do and fun exercises. And then there are some times where Dan's not there and we're just having a normal scene, but then Tyler's like, why don't we do this? But you're on my shoulders. And so, you got to be ready for anything.
When it's like, my legs are hurting. Evan, footstool.
Exactly. That footstool thing was not in the script. There's no way that was there. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, some would say bullying, but it's really just a work.
It's called pushing me to the level I need to be at. You ever seen that Michael Jordan documentary? You're just my Michael Jordan. I need that push.
That's the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me.
I'm your Dennis Rodman? Is that what that means?
Yeah, you're getting the rebounds.
You're my Rodman. You're my Rodman. That's a Hallmark card.
You're my Rodman.
Beautiful.
Speaking of the catchphrases on this show are just abundant, and my biggest question is, how does that happen? Like, walk us through the process. Do you go into expecting these things to be catchphrases, or do you just kind of ad lib them and then they just stick? Like, do they make the crew laugh and then you're like, keep it? Like, how does that work?
That usually what we do, like, I'll speak for myself. Like, if I come with an idea that isn't in the script, oftentimes I'll wait for the first take where the camera's rolling to try it. That way it doesn't get stale with the rehearsals, and then Jacob, the director, isn't able to kibosh it before it's on camera. So we've learned ways to like try and get our improv into the actual show. As far as the catchphrases, early on, season 1 and 2, Mark, one of the producers of Letterkenny, had some of the catchphrases in mind, and he actually came up to us and was like, this is sort of your catchphrase. You want to lean into these catchphrases. Not all the early catchphrases sort of caught on like some of the later ones, but it was something that I think the creators and the producers of the show were aware of.
Nice.
Right.
Same for you?
I mean, yeah, I didn't realize that there was this whole hidden world of intentional catchphrases that Mark was pushing. That's great. That's so interesting. I mean, he's a very good at marketing. Like, he obviously came up with the idea for the beer for the show and all that sort of stuff. And it's very interesting parts of the show that I'm maybe not necessarily always aware of that are happening. But I do remember one particular joke that got into the show that came about when we were just having some beers after we had wrapped a season. And that was the whole nut conversation. And it's not necessarily catchphrases, but we did find ourselves the entire weekend going, oh, that nut, gotta get that nut, like just like every day. And it was so stupid, but it made us laugh so hard and we couldn't stop. And at one point, Kiso stands up, it's like 4 a.m. He's like half cut. He's like, it's going in the show. Like he just leaves the room to go write it and put it in the show. And then there you go. So you don't always know where it's going to come from. And you got to be willing to try.
And you came up with Stuart. You came up with that yourself. That was the thing that they said.
That was absolutely just the name Stuart in the script. And I just said it strangely. And then Kiso liked it and asked me to say it strangely again.
That's awesome.
So works for me. And then so we started writing it into the script way more often.
That's one of my personal favorite catchphrases is Rolled, or people impersonating Rolled saying Stuart, Stuart. And people are like, do you get tired of Stuart? And like I said earlier in this interview, I'm like, no way. Bring it on, you know? I don't get flagged.
It's nice.
Like Evan and like Dylan Playfair and Nathan and some of these other, and Michelle, some of the other actors get recognized a lot more frequently than I do. So I haven't had the...
Yeah, because they don't look like, you look like Tom Cruise when you don't have your wig on. And no one knows that.
What do I look like with the wig on?
You look like, well, you don't want to know. you don't want to. With the wig on. You look like, yeah.
Very crazy. All right. This is my portion of the interview that I like to theme as underappreciated. Okay. I got 3 underappreciated categories. Excuse me.
Okay.
You guys have a great affinity for old school video games, and you kind of run them with the names that are truly impressive. Are you guys personally into video games, and if so, what are some of your favorite old school titles that you feel maybe are a little underappreciated?
I have a very, we play very different video games, Tyler and I. We've learned over the years, can't play them together. My favorite game of all time, which to this day is the original Super Smash Bros. For N64. Everyone's all about Melee. Everyone's all about Brawl. N64 Smash has the most dynamic and interesting. It's like chess. Like you don't need it to be complicated for it to be good. And that's how I feel about that Smash version.
I love it. I love the passion. That's what I want to hear.
I have a tattoo of it on my hand. That's the ray gun from the game.
Look at that.
That's a ray gun item drop.
That's phenomenal. Tyler, what about you? You play different games than Evan?
I played some Smash Brothers growing up, but like the first couple titles that came to my mind when you mentioned that was like the Double Dragon series. I remember playing the Battletoads series. Of course, Sonic the Hedgehog. I always played NHL. I'm very, very good at that game. Currently playing Call of Duty Warzone. So like I'm in the modern gaming now, and spending a lot of my time doing that. What was another favorite of mine growing up? Battletoads, Double Dragon. There was another one that I can't think of right now.
You're big. Whenever I think of you playing video games, though, I think of he touched on it, but he gets weird with Chell. He does play, and he gets super competitive and kind of a dick, but in a way that's so it's not overtly mean. It subtly cuts you down at your core. Like we lived together, like the 5 of us in one room at one point, like one house, I should say, not one room.
One room.
Felt like one room, because we were always playing games in the living room. And I remember you crushed everyone nonstop, and every time you beat someone, you just it wasn't an issue to you, but it really hurt.
And I'm like, I don't want to play with you losers.
Yeah, that's how you would always start. They'd beg you to play, and you would try.
Like, all right, if you guys want to go to bed, I'll put you to sleep.
All right, Hersey would just had his whole soul destroyed by you that one summer. Mm-hmm. Oh, poor guy.
So we go. We both play video games.
What about music? One of my favorite things about the show is the music. It's almost another character in the script, and I know that a lot of less well-known bands are being thrown out there to us Americans. How does the music get picked for the show? And do you guys have a favorite underappreciated artist or albums that you feel could and should be represented on the show?
The music, well, Jared Kiso, the creator, writer, franchise, he picks most of the songs, as far as I understand. I think he probably has like a music supervisor as well who might suggest songs or they discuss songs. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, but I know Jared is very hands-on with the music. Sometimes he actually writes them into the script. So we'll be reading and then a scene will display a song that he's been thinking of as he's writing it. So then now when we're reading the scenes, we actually have an idea as to what song might be playing during that. As far as like albums and stuff to go into Letterkenny. I'm always sending Jared music. He and I text every few days, and I keep sending him bands from British Columbia here and artists from British Columbia, hoping one day he's going to squeeze some of those into the show. But I think Jared's got a good handle on what he wants and what he wants to hear.
He does, yeah. He's very involved.
Evan, any artists you want to see on the show?
Oh, for God. You know what? I know that whoever the artist is going to be that I should want on the show should be a Canadian artist, and it should be someone local. I'm kind of in that place right now where I haven't been seeing live music recently. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. It's like the amount of like incredibly successful Canadian artists that exist right now with like Drake and Bieber and Mendez and all those people in The Weeknd. Like they're all so massively popular that I'm like, yeah, it'd be funny if they got one song in the show and it was like, oh, just featuring Canadian artists, but like they don't need more screen time. Get out of here. No, I want some more. I like hip hop. I'm always a big fan of like getting hip hop artists involved. And I think that there's like sort of like a more hands-on approach to hip hop promotion, which I always love. I love how they're out there, they're sending you the links to their songs and stuff. And it's just a more engaged group. Indie rock kind of can be a bit reserved. They're like, you find me if you want to. I'm over here with my harmonica.
Awesome. Boys, they're giving me the wrap. I apologize. This was a great time. This was
so fun.
So much fun. Thank you so much, guys. Letterkenny